I just know if someone says one more thing, I'm going to lose it because I've just had so much coming into my hard drive. Your brain is continually taking in information, processing information, answering questions, and it needs a chance to refuel. Hi, it's Dr. Phyllis. Welcome to Joy in the Pivot. It's episode 40. Episode 40. I just want to sincerely thank you so much for your support of me and of this podcast. You all have been on my heart and in my mind over the past days. And I just asked the Lord, what is it that you want me to talk about today? What is it? And He told me to talk about rest. And as I thought about it more and more, and today happens to be Sunday when I'm recording this episode, I thought about truly why the Sabbath, why rest is important. Now, some of us celebrate our Sabbath or take our rest on different days. That's okay. But it is important to rest. And I think that as working, busy Christian women, we often see rest as a luxury instead of something that is necessary. We often look at it as a weakness or a failing if we talk about taking rest. And I think that this whole use of the word self care is really a good thing. Yet I also think that because of the words, we get caught up there. And again, we see it as a luxury and something that we can't afford to do. But I want you to just think of self care as rest and different ways that we can rest. Many of us grew up hearing about the Proverbs 31 woman. And if you're like me, we've heard multiple sermons preached on the Proverbs 31 woman. Usually it is the topic of the annual Women's Day or Mother's Day, women's ministry. And her description is very important. And she is a key person because she actually embodies all the different hats that we wear. I think the one thing that we miss, though, as women, is the fact that that is just talking about her public attributes, her characteristics. It doesn't include what she does in her private moments to reboot and refresh so that she can keep moving in God's purpose. I remember as a little girl, Sundays at my house. My brother's 10 years older, so there was a point in time in elementary school, he was in college. In middle school, he was really in college. And then he moved out of the house and was living on his own. So most Sundays, it was just mom, dad, and myself. And Saturdays were crazy because we were running around. Mom had meetings. Dad had commitments. He was a principal for high school, so he had a lot of activities. He volunteered in the community. Mom volunteered. So many Saturdays, she was taking me to piano lessons or I was accompanying her to her meetings as she volunteered in the community, or we had other activities to go to. So Saturdays were busy. So Sunday after church, every once in a while we might get together with family members, but overall it was the three of us. And things somewhat shut down. We come home from dinner and mom would, make sure we had something to eat. And then I would go to my room or play outside, and they were taking their moments. And of course, as any kid, right? You're like, gosh, why are they resting? Dad would be watching um any type of sport that was on TV, dad was watching it. Or mom had her newspaper doing her crossword puzzles. If it was hot outside, we might be laying outside in the backyard on a blanket, but they were taking their moment. And it was only after I became an adult I realized why. I realized the importance of rest. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I just have been doing it. No, I'm just like you. I was at a point where I just was going, 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 running, running, running on the treadmill. And Friday would go into Saturday, running around with my kids, running to my meetings. Would run into Sunday, going to church. There may be other activities for the kids, or I might have an activity. And then Monday would roll around again, and we'd start the same thing on the same treadmill. And as you've heard me say, it was only after God said, enough. And he pulled that emergency stop cord on that treadmill. Did I have to learn to listen to my head, listen to my spirit, and listen to my body? And that was in spite of what I had on my to-do list, what needed to be done. I started feeling and hearing the signals that I had to rest. And so today, sis, I want you to learn and commit how to rest. I think we overthink it of what rest means. I think we equate rest with you have to go on vacation, or you have to be at the spa, or you have to do something that costs money, or you can't do it at home, or it has to be for hours. It doesn't. And the more you do it, even if it's for a short period of time, it works wonders. And we have to get over that feeling of guilt and shame about needing to take a rest. And so, as I thought about you and I thought about the topic of rest, I wanted to share with you an acronym or a spell out of what rest has come to mean to me and what I pray it will come to mean to you. So, rest. R is for refuel your energy stores. I have found that I get a whole lot more done when I listen to my brain when it's saying it's full. My cup is running over, or that my body is saying I'm tired. I can't go any further. I got to take a break. Or when my spirit is just feeling so stretched, or maybe I'm just feeling so tense that I just know if someone says one more thing, I'm going to lose it because I've just had so much coming into my hard drive. Your brain is continually taking in information, processing information, answering questions, and it needs a chance to refuel. You will hear me talk about that our bodies are like, I equate them to cars. They're always going somewhere, right? And we need to get from point A to point B. But you can't drive for long on fumes. You just can't. We can fool ourselves, but at some point the car will stop. It's better that we refuel so we can decide when it stops versus it stops, be it by a health problem or a meltdown, burnout, or we get triggered and we lose it. We have to refuel. We have to reboot our energy stores. That's why it's important to rest. And you can get even more done if you have that task and your brain is just telling you, oh my God, and you're feeling like you're, oh, take 15 minutes to take a breather. When I take 15 minutes to just step away, even better if I have a chance to take a 30-minute nap, I can go on after that. I'm able to concentrate versus it taking me forever to get the task done. Now, I know you may not be able to take a nap, but I do know of some people, and I've had my situations over the years that during my lunch break, I'm like you. Most of the time, we're working through our lunch break. But if I have a moment, I'm going to take 15 minutes. Now, if you have a situation where you can go and sit in your car or go sit somewhere and close your eyes for 30 minutes, awesome. And I cherish my 30-minute naps when I can get them on Sundays. I love it. Or even if a Saturday, if I'm able to do it. Refuel. E is embrace. When we rest, we're able to embrace the moment. Embrace, you're able to embrace who you are. You're able to realize that God is bigger than any problem you have and that life is so fragile and short that you need to be present and you need to embrace who you are. He's created you for an ultimate purpose, and the season you are in, especially if it's a challenging or difficult season, sis, it's only for a set time. It won't be forever. Embrace your moment. Be present in the moment that you're in. Embrace it. And I find that I love to, if I can, go to the ocean, drive by the ocean, because nature helps me put things in perspective. The ocean just reminds me of just God's awesomeness and just how my problems, while they're very real and they're very important, God is bigger. Look at the ocean. When I walk, in the morning with the dogs. I like to stop at there's a particular house on the route that I walk, and they have this beautiful it's simple, but it's beautiful fountain. It looks like a it's just it is. It looks like a urn, okay? But it's this beautiful, simple fountain with water, and the hummingbirds meet there, drink water, bathe themselves. There's a family of hummingbirds, and I make sure I stop there each morning and just look at them. And I can tell you that during this season of my life, I've become even more aware of nature and what's going on around me, because there was a time that I was so busy doing that I wasn't really living and taking advantage of what God has created around me, that He's allowed me to be here to enjoy while I'm here. And I want you to do that. Embrace the moment, embrace what's around you. If you can get into nature, embrace the moment and embrace who God has created you to be. The next is S, silent or silence the noise. We have to frequently silence the noises. I want to ask you, what negative thoughts or narratives do you need to let go of? What do you need to shut down in your brain? Because, Satan is always trying to steal your joy, either through others, situations, or even your own thoughts. Those thoughts that tell you that you're not enough, pointing out what you should have done or you should have said or what you shouldn't have allowed to happen, or there's multiple narratives. We replay what went on the past week and we keep replaying it. And when we're tired, when we're depleted, we continue to replay those narratives over and over. And really, again, they're weapons of Satan. Don't want to give him too much time. But as we know, as in the Bible, it says, we are in the midst of spiritual warfare. And the more Satan tries to get busy, it's just another testament to the fact that God has created you for greatness. And so he tries to work overtime to get at you, because if he can get at you and steal your joy, just think about, then if he steals your joy, then he impacts everyone that you touch, right? If you're married or you have a partner or a significant other, he's going to get them. If you have kids, he's going to get them through you. If you are a caregiver for someone, and as a leader, if he can get to you, you bring that to work. And when he gets busy at work, he brings that through you home. And so we have to continually be good stewards of our spirit, good stewards of the noise, what's coming into our ears, what's percolating in our spirit, in our brains. And so you just have to silence the noise, and you have to not overthink. I had to learn this, and I continually have to remind myself of it, is that we can overthink, over try to look for an answer, over try to psychoanalyze people. Sometimes you have to just say, okay, it is what it is, but I do have control over what I'm going to do going forward. So you have to just silence it, mute it for at least a little while, if not delete it. You have to silence the noise. The T is to trust in God. When we rest, we are able to reconnect with God. Truly reconnect with God. Not only is it a time that you can remember just how good God has been to you and where you were years ago, days ago, weeks ago, but also remind yourself of his great promises. Rest is that time for you to reset God, connect to him. And when I say reset is by trusting in him, we reset him as our GPS. It's so easy to get so caught up, and we have to stop beating ourselves up. We're human. But as we are serving and caring for others, we have to care for ourselves so we can be the best that God has created to us to be. We have to give ourselves, if you heard me say, permission to do what's necessary for us to be the best that we can be, not only to those who we care about, but give us ourselves, and I want you to give yourself permission to be the best you are and enjoy life in the midst of it. That's why this podcast is called Joy in the Pivot, because life is a series of pivots or defining moments. It is a series of experiences. Some great that leave us feeling great, some that leave us feeling neutral, and some that we're living with that are not so comfortable. But they're defining moments and opportunities for growth. So sis, today I want you, for today, that the day that you're listening to this episode, I want you to look at your life and see how you can rest. R, refuel. E, embrace your moment. Embrace who you are. S, silence the noise. And T, trust in God. I love you. I see you. I'm praying for you. I'm right here with you as we learn to have joy in the pivot. I look forward to seeing you next week. Please don't forget to subscribe and share. I want to continue to grow our community of Christian women, busy Christian women who wear all the hats, that create a community that we can support each other. I'm here to mentor you. I want to let you know you're seen. I get you. I want to coach you so that you can live your best life with permission, priority, purpose, right? I want to say it again with permission, priority, purpose, and most importantly, presence. I'll see you next time at Joy in the Pivot. Bye now.